Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you have all recovered from picnic day, or if you haven't been, that you've enjoyed all the picnic day videos. There are quite a few. I am only in one, I believe, and I made one as well that starred mostly my girlfriend Catherine and some of her friends. And if you haven't seen those, I really highly recommend you go check those out. This whole intro just was also a little bit fun. I mostly did it for a challenge on Instagram from Peter McKinnon. Anyways, there is a poll currently on the community tab of my channel that you guys can vote on some different video ideas I have. And also, if you have video ideas that you think I would be great doing or you just want to see me do, feel free to leave those in the comment section either below here or on that community tab post. I also wanted to thank everyone who has subscribed recently. I crossed 2,700 subscribers, and it's awesome to have so many people want to watch my content and support my content. I also crossed 900 followers on Instagram. Both things are pretty big milestones for me, so I'm really excited to have everyone follow along on this journey as I move through college, and I also move through the world of video and photography. So I've been making some videos about mental health in college. I made one when I first announced that I was dealing with stuff, and I made a second one that was kind of my first day back in college with dealing with anxiety and dealing with all of that. But I wanted to make a quick video about how college doesn't have to be this ideal 4-year plan. This whole idea came to my mind after I had first announced that I was dealing with stuff, and a friend of mine messaged me, and we were talking a little bit about how, college doesn't have to be this sequential 4 years of academics that then you graduate with a degree. I think that in high school, at least where I went, there was this kind of pounding into our heads that college was a 4-year program, finish it in 4 years, go to a 4-year school. And it never felt like there was any consideration ever that someone might not be able to do this in 4 years because of whatever circumstances. There never was this like, oh, well, what happens if I need to take a year off because I'm dealing with, anxiety or depression or, a loss of a family member? Or even, take a quarter off. It doesn't even have to be a whole year. There never was any discussion about that. And I never really heard about that either once I got here. It was always like, all right, here's how you graduate in 4 years. And it doesn't help because when you get to this part where you are taking a quarter off because you are dealing with stuff, you're not really sure what to do. Like, is it okay that I'm going another year? Yes, it is. Is it okay that I come back to school later in life? Yeah, it is. Is it okay if I drop out and I start working and don't ever go back to school? Yeah, it is okay. All of those are okay things. And I just think that it's really important to hear it, especially if you are entering college or you're currently a freshman or you're dealing with this kind of thing right now. It's okay that college isn't a linear run. It can be a little wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. Anyone get my reference? I believe it's becoming more accepted as well. You're starting to see more students that are taking that 2 years in community college and then coupling that, finishing their degrees at a university for another 2 years or 3 years, depending on what they're getting their major in. And I know for a fact that my time here isn't going to be quite as linear as I might have expected it. For one, last quarter was basically a throwaway quarter for me because I didn't pass any of my classes. So for that quarter, I'm actually retroactively withdrawing, which means that the quarter doesn't exist. It's almost like I never took the quarter. And because of that, I have to now make up a quarter in classes, which means most likely I'm not going to graduate in 4 years. And that's not bad. I know a lot of people that haven't graduated in 4 years. They either graduate 4 years and a quarter, or maybe they even take a full 5th year. And I think it's important to keep that in mind that, not everyone's taking the same path into college. There are people that are going to take gap years right out of high school and then start up college, a year or two after. I know there's people that drop out of college. It's just not where they are right now. And, they come back in a few years later and, they get their degree. And I think it's really important to keep that in mind when looking at mental health in college, especially because when you feel cornered into doing a 4-year program or getting everything done in 4 years, I think that for people who are dealing with stress or anxiety, those might not be viable options. And I don't think that it's very fair if the whole world is shouting at you, you have to do this in 4 years. especially when there are so many people who aren't doing it in 4 years. And honestly, I don't think there is a negative side to doing it in more than 4 years, except that you do have to spend sometimes more money. However, I do believe that health trumps money, and in the end, you really should be taking care of yourself first. Personally for me, I haven't figured out if I am finishing college in 4 years or not. It's just looking like I probably won't be, but I'm not overly upset. One of the reasons is I could try to jam-pack my next 3 quarters of school with, all the classes I need to graduate on time. But I have a feeling that would cause me more emotional and psychological just discomfort than if I go that 5th year, or not even a whole 5th year, but a quarter or 2. So if you are dealing with something, or that you have a history of dealing with anxiety or depression, or you are unsure if college is the right choice for you right now, that's okay. My best advice is to go talk with your family if that's a viable solution. Talk with a college advisor if you're in college. Despite people not ever talking about it, it's not uncommon, and the college advisors do know quite a bit about this. And honestly, there's a lot of really good resources online, whether you're going on college forums or you're looking at YouTube videos like this. I think that know that you're not alone, and I stress this I think every time I make one of these mental health videos, is that you're not alone, you're not the only one. And it's okay to take your own route in life. It's really okay. I know this isn't the most interesting content, and that's why I'm mixing it in every week or so with other content, because this is content that I think is actually incredibly important to talk about, especially because college is so different than high school, and a lot of the support network that you might have in high school is going to be not as accessible immediately. And I'm going to make a video about what support options you have in college for if you're dealing with mental health or anxiety or stress. There are a lot of options, and I will make a video about that next week, I think. But this one was just on my mind recently, that this doesn't have to be a linear path. No one said it did. And I think that is all I have for today. I'm going to be continuing talking about mental health on this channel because I think it's really important to talk about, especially for college students, because no one really talks about it that much. So bear with me if this is not your speed. There's always going to be other content, and I'm always going to make what I think is important or what is fun for me to make. And for this one, I feel this is important. Again, feel free to jump into discussions down in the comments, tell your side of things. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. You can also jump in my Discord. Link is at the end of the video as a QR code, or links down in the description. And you can also follow me on Instagram at DeanRexel. And as always, don't forget to be awesome.